Hello again. Very sad day for me. Well, tomorrow's going to be the sad day. I've just managed to push the E30 back a bit. So I've had to put a bit of air in the tyres, just check the torques on the wheel. Nuts, because I can't remember what I did last time I put it in here. I haven't used this for a year and a bit, probably. So I need to get it, I think I need to get some more air in that tyre that I can't get to. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to push it out the garage, check the oils. I've just put fuel in it. Yeah, check oils, water, make sure that's all right. Fire it up. I've just got it insured. I've got to get the numbers off the door, and there's a rally plate on the front. You have to take that off, and then take it for a drive. And the guy who wants to buy it wants to come down, see it running. So yeah, it's mixed emotions. I'm really looking forward to giving it a drive. It'll be really sad if it has to go. Dent on the roof, don't know where that's from. Yeah, I might get the heat gun because we're struggling a bit getting the numbers off. They've been on for quite a while. So you can have drive shafts with it. Got spare ones of those, bits and pieces. I've got bonnets and boots and yeah, lots of spares. But sad, beautiful car. Just walking through the garage to get outside. I always just think, well, that's a nice looking cover. That I do like it. It's going to be such a shame, but like I say, I haven't used it for a while. But I know what'll happen. I'll drive it tomorrow and think, what am I doing? Well, we've pushed it out the garage. I've pumped the tyres up. The front right was a bit low. Try and remember what all these switches do. Light bar, I think that's the screen. But this has not been started for 18 months. So it should be interesting. We'll give it a go. So as soon as I start it, I'm going to drive it. I don't want to just let it tick over and oil up or whatever. I had no fuel in it, so I've just put 30 litres in it. So I'll just prime the tank a bit and make sure, yeah, it sounds like it's getting through. Right, then put the harnesses on. Right, come on, BMW. Beauty! Right, take it for a spin. In fact, I didn't take it for a spin. I just turned it straight off again. I thought, I'll wait till he gets here and we can just both take it for a spin together. Right, I'll get rid of some of the stuff that's inside. Intercom, map light, heated screen. Oh, God, I thought I knew what that was. Oh, shift light. I've got a switch for the shift light because at night time it's like a flash photography straight in your face. This dulls itself at night time. Right, I'm making the most of the space I've got in the garage this evening. I'm doing the top mounts of the Subaru. So when I got them, the bearings came out the bottom. I don't reckon they'd put any circlips in there. So I can't see how they would have come out with the circlips in. He reckons I fit them upside down. I mean, I'd have to be pretty stupid to put them on that way. Anyway, what I've done is I've drilled and tapped from underneath. So what it is, they go this way, and when you go over a jump, it's to stop the strut from pulling out the bottom. So with the weight of the car on it, they're not going anywhere. So what I've done is I've just drilled at an angle. I'll cut these off, obviously. And the Allen heads hit the bearing, stop the bearing coming out. That way, if there is a problem, then I can always take these out and pull the bearing back out. I was going to get my mate to do some aluminium welding, so the bearing will be stuck in, but I didn't want to get the bearings too hot, and also if I did need to change them, it would be a lot of grinding and fiddling about. So I mean, bearings probably won't need changing, but just in case, you never know. So I'm going to drill this one and do the same on that. Yes, and as rubbish as these were with the falling apart and ruining my rally, they made such a difference to the handling. They really did give it some front end grip. So I do want to put them back on again. So if you do buy a set of these from a company that sells a lot of stuff on eBay, they've got their own company, Union Jacks all over it, make sure they've got a circlip in them before you fit them. I got centre set and the diameter was much too small. They're the wrong size, so they wouldn't fit, so they went back, and then I'd already stripped all the struts down, so when they turned back, when I got them back, I just banged them in. Didn't even look to see. So, which would have been, mind you, if I hadn't noticed they weren't there, it would have been, well, I probably would have put the standard ones back on. Alright, let's get these drilled. Right, that's all I've just done. I think what I'll do is I'll cut these off and I'll grind these flat a bit. There is plenty of room between the shocks. It's got another bit that goes on the top of the shock, so it won't interfere with these, but I'll just flatten these down a bit just to make sure they're not in the way, and then I can it's quite a job to put these on, but I want to get them done. I've got the car booked in for a rally in beginning of December, and we're now at the beginning of November, and I've got another rally in 9 days time, and I haven't even touched the car since the Jersey rally, so I need to get that done this weekend. I've got 2 days, the girlfriend's away, so I can get stuck into that. And then when I come back, I've got a wedding. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I'll have to take a bit of time off work. So yeah, just need to chop them down a bit. I've got all Loctite on the screws. There's no way those bearings can come out with those there. Right, job done. Glad I've done that. Again, I've been buying some bits for the car. Once I got rid of one, I've got a bit of space, but I've sort of running out of space now. So, friend of mine, he had an accident with his car and they decided it wasn't worth repairing. So they scrapped it, and I've bought quite a few bits off it. If we just go through what I've got. This is a bias pedal box, so it's made up from the original pedal box. It's got the Titan master cylinders and an adjustable bias, so you can go front and rear with the hydraulic clutch as well. This is the slave that goes onto the gearbox. These are the rear calipers, and the rear discs, they are original E30 discs that have been machined down, and I don't know if they're AP or Willwood discs on. There's a Titan master cylinder. I've got all the brake pipes as well, because that'll just make life a lot easier. That's a breather tank. Electric power steering columns. That's an E30 column that's been converted to Corsa C, I think it is, power steering. And it's got an adjustable variable resistance, because a lot of people say you can't get any feel with these, but you can turn it off if you want. So my other car had one, and I tended to turn it down when I was driving it and turn it up when I was parking it. Right, rear beam, this is all adjustable, so you can raise this one up and down, and that one can go backwards and forwards, and this one can go backwards and forwards, so you can get toe in, toe out, camber. So it's quite adjustable. This is all being reinforced as well, so it's got strengthening in it. It's been converted for the suspension to be moved further back, so you can put the heavy duty shafts in it, which is ideal. Doors. The guy who built this is a clever guy. He's put, this door's, the top half is damaged, the bottom half is fine, and they're really good condition, but he's put these pieces in So you can slide the window up and down, the plastic window, and you can slide the front window up and down as well. So you can just have the front quarter light open, or you can have the full window open, which is brilliant. Much better than those stupid little squares you get. A fully flocked dash. It's a bit dirty now because the car did go upside down and got a bit of ground in it, but I'm sure that'll clean up. Various seals. I've got fiberglass bonnet, which did get a bit of damage at the front and there, but that's all there is. I think that'll be an easy fix. And roll cage. The front half's no good. The diagonals, door bars, they're all right. And the rear half of the cage is fine. So the idea is, oh, it's got offset front lollipops as well. Can't really see, but yeah. And I've got the front brakes, the suspension. I've got all. We'll go up to the other store. It's just I was putting everything in the store, but run out of space. But I'm sort of getting a bit enclosed in here now, so I need to have a bit of a sort out. So most of this will go into the E30 with the M3 body kit on that I've been building for 5 years or whatever. So once it's painted, a lot of this can just slot on. I've got all the brake pipes and handbrake cables and everything all off one car, so I'll know it fits. Because what I've been doing with mine is I've been putting stuff to the side. So these are like handbrake cables, but they're all different lengths, so I don't know what length I need. Maybe trial and error, whereas this I know what's what. The cage is going to go into the white E30 that I lent out. I've still not got it back yet, so he's still fixing it. But when that comes back, I want to re-cage it because I don't like the cage that's in it. It's homologated and all that, but it's just, I just don't like it. So that'll be coming out. Oh yeah, I've got wings. They're at the store. We'll have a look at the store and go through what's up there. But yeah, this should make, I should be able to get a lot of the stuff done on the car that's being built, and I can put a lot of the wings, cage, various bits and pieces in the white E30 that I lent out. Right, we'll have a look at the store. We'll go up there. Right, this is the back of the van, so there's all sorts in there. This is a twin pump fuel tank, I think. It's got Subaru Impreza pumps, I believe. The bumper was good at the back. The rear lights, roll cage. The rear half is all right, the front half's no good. But the plastic windows, yeah, just useful bits and pieces. And then, I don't know where to start in here. Well, I need to start by taking it out. I've got the whole front subframe, which has got a Subaru Impreza rack conversion done on it. So these are converted to run the rack. And it's got I've got an electric power steering column, which is in my garage. That's a really good radiator and quite compact as well. I've got new engine mounts. I've got a new engine. That's Vauxhall XC, which has 240 horsepower, I think. It was built by Bob Jones, and they're supposed to be very good engines. It's got a twin plate clutch. It's on 45s. It's got the management to run it. It's got this dry sump tank. So I've got the dry sump tank, all the filters and everything. In theory, it should just bolt on. I've got the front legs, suspension, their calipers. Basically, it's everything I need to go on my shell, apart from the gearbox. He did have a gearbox, a Drenth 6-speed sequential, but I couldn't. I've got gearboxes in here. I couldn't justify spending all that money on another gearbox. So I'll use a 15G sequential on that gearbox, on that engine, and this is all going into the E30. It's got an exhaust that was converted to run in the E30, so it should all slot in. It came out of an E30. It should all go back into an E30. So fingers crossed. But what I've got to do now is try and get some tyres out, because I've got a run in the Escort. I've got to get this, all this in there somehow. So I'm gonna have to pull this out and make some space further down. Try and see what I can get in. Oh yeah, wing, doors, all gold. Yeah, this is the front screen, and these inserts, they go brittle after a while. This slight bend in the corner of the front screen broke, so this just popped out. I have to move it about a little bit. The rear screen, I've actually carefully taken out the inserts. So what you do is you take this out, put the screen in, put that back in, it stops the screen from coming out. But mine just fell apart, so I've actually bought one. It wasn't easy to get hold of and it was expensive. I've got a spare one now, so as long as I keep them so they last, I might oil them up or something. So I'm gonna have to put them in here where they're gonna not get stuff put on top of them. Right, I got distracted then. Let's get some stuff out of here. Right, I'm on it's a Saturday, so I've got the strut tops, and I've had to just grind them down a bit, make it a bit more out of the way, even though that would be plenty far. It wouldn't have hit before, but so it's quite a lot of work involved in moving these. But whilst I've got the wheel off, friends lent me one of these wheels. The tyres are absolutely shot. It's totally split. But I've just got to see if the wheel fits. There's special nuts that come with it as well, so I'll give that a go. Yeah, they fit fine, they miss everything. The bolts that came with it in this bag are similar to the ones that I'm taking off. They've got the same angle, but they just actually go into the wheel a bit. Must be to locate it, I suppose. Anyway, it struggled to get in, so I had to use the wire brush attachment just to clean it up a bit. So that's a job for later on. I've got to negotiate with the guy and agree a price now. I managed to rip the rear mud flap off yesterday as I reversed towards the pavement, and it just got caught under the tyre, even though they weren't big. So I need to put that on as well. So I'll see how much he wants for these, see if I can get a set of 17-inch tarmac tyres, because the next event in this is going to be about 5 weeks' time at South Downs Rally, which is at Goodwood, which is an excellent rally. So I've got standard pads in it. Don't know how they're going to cope. If it rains, it'll be all right. I'm going to get, these are like inters, but they've been used on the gravel, so they're shot. But I think I've got some more of those. So ideally, if I can have a set of tarmacs and then a set of inters, these will work in the wet. They won't be as good as a full wet. In fact, I might have some full wets. I'll see what I've got. Let's get this off and get the strut off. Right, it's time to do the tracking on the Subaru. This is a very basic tracking gauge where it rests against the rim. You make sure it's level. It's got a mirror on this side, and on the other side of the car there's a laser that fires a beam. That beam is projected to the mirror and reflected back on, and it's on naught. So now I swap it over, level it up on this wheel, reflect it back on there, and see what it says. If it says naught, that means we're dead ahead. Right, that's it set up that side. The laser beam's on the mirror, and it's reflecting back to near enough naught. It wasn't when I put it on, but obviously because I've changed the top mounts, the tracking's gone out. So you couldn't feel it when you're driving. I like everything to be straight ahead. So I've just adjusted the steering rack, the track wheel arm. Yeah, it's taken like 10 minutes. Just a little tweak to get it so I know it's bang on. Great little thing. It comes in its own little box, and I usually take it with me to the rallies just in case you hit something, like a chicane or something. The only disadvantage is when you've got it set up, once you've adjusted the track rod arm, you have to reset it up again. You can't see how far it's going, moving, whilst it's connected. You have to move it a bit and then recheck it. So, but like I say, it's taking me 10 minutes to change this. Next job. Right, I've bought a twin cylinder hydraulic handbrake, which I think will really help at the quarry rallies, if I ever do one again. And the reason it's twin cylinder is so that I can keep the ABS. I can disconnect the ABS if I want, but if I want to keep it, I can, and it's quite clever, and it has pulled me out of potential problems previously. So I think the brake pipe lines run down there. So I just have to bring them round, or I could bring them under the seat, in here, out there, and then join back onto them. So it's going to be quite easy to do. I've just got to find a decent place to put it, but I'll have to like make a bracket or something to secure it, and that's quite a good height to be at. Maybe a bit lower, as long as it doesn't get in the way of the navigator. And I've got a rally in 3 weeks, I think, or 4 weeks. I've got a rally next weekend, and then I'm back, and I've got a wedding, not mine, and then I've got another rally where I'm using this car, the Subaru. I'm just not going to have time to fit it before then, I don't think, unless I take time off work, but I'm really, really busy at work. So the rally I'm doing, I won't need a hydraulic handbrake. So I'll probably leave that. I need to go and get the fire extinguishers now and put them in. All I've got left to do then is sort the tyres out and get a mud flap fitted. So I need to get this ready before I do the next rally in the Escort, so at least this one's ready to go when I get back. Right, I'm in the green Escort. I'm in the green Escort in the store. I've come to check the mileage for my insurance, and it is 668. But whilst I'm here, I can shut that off now. I need to find out why the indicators aren't working. I think it's because the hazard switch isn't connected. I saw in my other video that it was disconnected, so I've only got a flat end screwdriver and there's a couple of posi drives to undo. I'll see if I can get them off and then see if I can connect it and work them again. That's it, back together again. I'll just have a look. Indicators, this one. Yep, perfect. Okay, that's all it was. It used to happen on the BMW. If it's not on properly, the back of the hazard switch, you end up with indicators not working. Right, now that's done, I can isolate it. We had a few problems with this. It'd be interesting to see if it would start actually, but I don't want to try starting it and not drive it. So that's that off. What my plans are, I hate this box. I really do hate it. And for what it's got on it, I haven't got a heater, I've got a heat screen, so I reckon I could put a switch panel there. I want to keep it left-hand drive. I've got a 15G H-pattern gearbox, which is brutal, and I reckon I've got more chance of getting on with it with the right hand on it than the left hand. And apparently left-hand drives are the way to go. Plus also, the hydraulic handbrake, yeah, it's the right hand. It's my dominant hand. So I'll give it a go. I can always change it to right-hand drive afterwards. But I think I'm going to leave it with left-hand drive for now. I can't wait to get stuck into this car. But unfortunately, I've got other things to do first. Well, the postman's been, and he's dropped all 3 packages up on the same day. So I've got, these are ballast packs for the HID bulbs. But they're 55 watt. Whereas these ones are 100 watt. These are for off-road use. So I think these will be brighter. So I might use those ones and see how I get on. It just means I have to work out what size cable I need and fusing to operate them. I'll work that out now. Right, you divide the wattage by the voltage, which works out 8.3 amps. yeah, 100 watts divided by 12 is 8.3. So the next size fuse from 8.3 is 15 amp. So it needs a 15 amp per side. So I might do 2 feeds. I've got 18 amp thin wall cable, which is very thin, so I can bring that from the car forward, that's no problem. I think there's already cables there. Right, so I think I'll go with these ones and put 15 amp fuses on, and then I'll look into those another day. I might see if I can get some brighter bulbs for them. I do like these are very nice. That's the bulb in, so I just need to put a connection on there and an earth on there and bring the cables out through there. They're Oscar. Hang on. I'm fitting the spotlights to the car. There's a adjust this so they can rotate. You can get different angles out of them. This bolt goes through the middle, and then the nut goes under whatever your bolt needs to. So what I'm using, that's the old panel that was under the dash. It's aluminium, about 3mm thick. So what I've done on the front of the car, it must have had brackets for spotlights before. A bit dark down here. So it's got a bolt sticking out there and a stud sticking out. I don't know if you can see, but it's got a little, like, the yellows from where I put yellow marker on it. Mark the hole. Right, so that locates on the stud. What I do now is bend this back. It'll also be level with the rest of the car. Bend it back and then drop it down so I can drill a hole for that bolt to hold it on. That should make it quite quick release. And then if I just have a plug on the spotlights, I can disconnect the plug and then that's it. Get them on again, because I presume if it's like Jersey, we'll have to, this is for Bovington we're doing, and also South Downs, but I'll be using different cast South Downs. So I presume we'll have to have those spotlights on for scrutineering and then take them off for the first more afternoon stages and then put them back on again for the evening stages. So because I've got to bend this at an angle, it won't fit in my vise. So I'm going to put it in my press, I think. So I'm going to cut another one of these, the same. Check it all works on the other side as well. Yep, same thing. And then, yeah, if I've got 2 mays, I can bend them, I can always adjust the bend. I'll come back in here. I'll give that a go. Right, I've made one out of very thin steel that you can cut with a pair of scissors. So you can bend it, no problem. So that's about the right sort of shape that I need. I might need to fettle it a little bit. So I need to transfer all the measurements onto the aluminium now. I'm going to take it to the press, put the bends in it, and then hopefully we'll try it on. I'm sure it'll need a bit of manipulating. We're in my press. I welded a socket to the bolster so it'll fit over the bit that comes down. I pressed it so it's got the same sort of angle, and then I've got to do the next angle, but I'll do the other one the same as that one so far whilst it's set up like that. Yeah, these clip on lovely. They yeah, I should miss the bonnet. Probably could have done with coming forward a little bit more. I've got room at the back to tilt it up and down. I'm trying to get it the same angle. I think it's going to go a bit up, if anything. It's a bit hard on the front of the car's jacked up off the floor. So the problem I've got is to adjust it. I have to undo the nuts and rotate the light backwards and forwards. But I can't actually get to the nut. I can't get a spanner in there. I could make a spanner with a offset, but I might as well just cut a hole out the bottom and I can get a socket up there then. Make it easy to adjust. So I think I'll do that next. And then fit the other side as well. Right, that's a bracket on for the driver's side. What I've done is a big hole at the bottom, so it's a 19mm socket to get underneath it to adjust it, because I have got no idea where to line them up. I've got to take it out at night, but I'm on the ferry tonight, so the only chance I'll have of driving it is driving it onto the car trailer. But that's nice and secure, so I'll do the same on the other side, and then I'll get the wiring sorted out. Right, that's the spotlights all on, all wired up. So these originally were the feed to the light bar on the bonnet, which I will take. I'm not pointing the camera there. These are the feeds to the light bar on the bonnet, which run from here, and then it had, yeah, these were connected to there. So what I've done is I've disconnected it and connected these ones on. I don't see the need for light bar and spotlights. And the light bar does stick up a bit on the bonnet, which is a bit of a pain. So I am going to clip these up somewhere out of the way. And then we'll give the lights a go, see what happens. Well, they all seem to be working all right. They seem to be lining up on the same place on the wall. Not that means anything. I'll find out more tomorrow when I try them out. If I turn the spotlights off and just leave the high beam on, yeah, I don't know, is that much brighter? Well, that's high beam. That's what the spotlights. I mean, they're supposed to be 100 watt. Well, we'll find out tomorrow. I'm just loading the van up with all the bits and pieces for the rally. We're on the ferry tonight. So I've just pulled it out of the shed, the container, and I've put all the BMW bits and pieces from my garage in here, or most of them, just to get them out of the way. So it's freed up a bit of space. I'm gonna get them all out and put them on the car, but just not yet. So yeah, all the cage and everything. So when I do come to get it, that shelf and that shelf is all E30 bits. Engines there, body panels, that's for a different car. But yeah, so that's a bit more organised now. Ground sheet, I've got a ground sheet in the box, just hopefully I've got everything. We've got the ferry tonight. We arrive 6 o'clock tomorrow morning in Portsmouth. So tomorrow's Friday, the rally starts Saturday. So we've got, I think we can drop the cars Friday evening to the Bovington rally circuit, and that way it's out of the way, and it's an army base and nothing's going to go missing from there. Which is, I'd much rather do that than leave them at the hotel, because easy pickings there. Fortunately, we've got Dave going with his Mark 1 Escort, which is mint. It's such a lovely car, and I do have a feeling if anyone's going to rob a car, they would definitely walk past mine and steal his. So thanks, Dave, thanks for coming. Don't mean it like that, because that is my favourite Mark 1. Right, so I've got to go and do a few bits to the car, get it ready, and then get other bits sorted out, and then we should be ready to go, hopefully. I'll go pump the tyres up, get some air in them. Right, I've got to get this fired up, so I've used the drill to get the belts, the pump working. So when I checked the oil, you couldn't see any oil in the tank. So I rotated the pump, and it's like 3/4 full now, so at least I know there's not too much oil in the engine. I don't fire it up and bit hydraulics or whatever. I don't understand why it does it, but I just know I don't want to start it when it's got loads of oil in it. So yeah, that's got the oil back to the tank. The front wall's jacked up as well, which usually slows it down. And it's probably 4 weeks since I've last driven it. In fact, I drove it in on the October rally and hasn't been started since. So fingers crossed. I'm presuming because it drove in all right, it should drive out okay. So I've checked the water, check the oil. Yeah, need to put some fuel in, but I'll wait until we get to some Tesco. No, not Tesco. Yeah, Tesco 99. No, Shell V-Power. I'll put in it. It's in the UK. Right. Let's put the dry sump belt back on. It's a bit tricky when it's got the sump guard on. It's a lot easier doing it from underneath. And what I want to do is, this is on a block of wood at the moment. I'm going to get it off the block of wood and then see if I can level these up, these lights, because that means that they'll be sort of horizontal. That's my theory anyway. And then I can just adjust them left and right. Another thing I want to do is put something over the coil pack. Even if it's a plastic bag that I cable tie around it, and just in case it rains, I don't want the water going straight onto it. So it needs a bit of protection on there. I was going to put a bit of perspex, but I haven't got any perspex here. I've left it at work, so it might have to be a bag. Right, what I've done is I've put the straight edge on the lens of the bulb, so the top and the bottom are touching the straight edge, and then I put the level on the straight edge, so I know these are very, very close to level. It's 0.2 of a degree out or something, which isn't much, and I've just let it off the jack. So, and then I put a straight edge across both pairs of lights, which in theory, as long as the brackets are the same size, it should mean that they are pointing straight ahead. We'll find out the first dark night stage, I'm guessing, because it's going to be light by the time I drive it down to the trailer. So I've done them up nice and tight. We can always do some fine adjustments. I think we've only got a couple of stages at night time, but I do like the spotlights. They do look much better than the light bars. I am bringing the light bars just in case. Last year I went to South Downs, hit a chicane and took the spotlights out in the daylight. So I think what I might do is take these off before I do any day stages and put them back on at night stages. Now they're all set up, they should just come off and go back on again. 2-minute job, hopefully. Dave Truscott. He's struggling a bit. Go on, Dave. No pressure. He's not doing too bad actually, is he? Well, we're back from the rally, Bovington, got back last night. So I've just unloaded most of the van. I've got a few bits and pieces to get out. Car's back in the garage. I've jacked the front right up to try and stop the oil from getting to the engine. But what I was also thinking, I don't know if this will work. Oh, it's locked. There's a vent on the breather pipe. If I was to put a glove and then screw the top down over the glove, it would stop any air getting in, which might stop the siphoning effect of the oil going to the front of the car. So, I mean, ideally a tap would be good. So I might try that and see if that helps, because it doesn't take long before it all starts filling up. So I can't do anything now, I'm so busy. I've got to catch up with work because yesterday was Monday and we spent all day on the ferry. So I've lost a day already this week. Brilliant spotlights, really pleased with those, but I'm trying to get 150 watt bulbs instead of 100 watt. Don't know if that will help. I've put a padlock on the bonnet pins, and I locked the boot and I locked the doors just on the ferry, just to stop anyone poking and prodding. And I'll pull the start motor off and have a look and see what's caused it. I'm guessing there's some crap inside it still from when I burst the casing, because it jammed up before and I gave it a shake and got everything out, but I need to take everything out and make sure there's nothing in there. So I'm guessing that's what there is. Otherwise, I can't see the starter not lasting that long. It was an expensive starter motor, so I'm hoping that it's got some crap in it, so I'll clean that out. And then, seeing as there's nothing to do to the car, it ran like a dream. Oh yeah, the starter motor worked fine, really good. Started all the time, turned it off while I waited, started. I think that's more down to the HDDs and the silver foil over the crank sensor cable. So that seems to be that cured. It does have a bit too much advance on startup, so it sort of kicks back, but you know, only a couple of times and it starts. It started loads of times during the day, 2 days. Finished the last stage, parked it up, went round in the van, picked up the trailer, brought the trailer back, wouldn't start, just click. So that's what I think there's something in the starter that's causing that. That's the only thing I can think of, but I'll take it off and have a look. So yeah, that's not going to be my next job, but it won't be for a couple of days yet. We've got South Downs in 2.5 weeks, and I spoke to the navigator. I want to do it, but I've got a wedding on Saturday. I've got one spare weekend where I'll have to work on the car. I haven't got any tyres for it, I haven't booked the hotel, I haven't booked the ferry. So, I don't know. It'd be nice to do, but I've just done a rally. I've done a rally a couple of weeks before that. I've got another rally just after Christmas. So, and I'm doing it in the Subaru, which I really look forward to, but I've got to get the extinguishers out of the E30 that I lent out for the Jersey rally. So I think that's been moved to someone's shed, so I have to try and find that and get the extinguishers out of it. I'll have to order some tyres, get them fitted. I don't know if I'll have enough time. Anyway, I'll think about that later. I've just got back, so I'm going to go and empty what's left in the van. I've got all the tools and everything out. I've got Grady's gear to drop off to her, and I'll go just back to the container and put the wheels and tyres in there. I need to do something with those as well. They've been sitting there for quite a while now. Right, we're back now from Bovington Rally. I've jacked the front of the car up. We've got an oil slick going on here, but that's part and parcel of dry sump. And the fact that the tank leaks oil, siphon oil to the front. That was previous, that's not from this rally. Let's get a cloth and clean it up. What my plans are to drop the sump guard, and then that way I can pull the starter motor off, take it apart, and hopefully it's just got a bit of crap in it that I didn't take out last time. So I'm going to clean this bit of oil up and then take this off. Right, that's good news, I suppose. That's actually snapped. The crimps on, what was it, terminal or something? So it's, yeah, it snaps off there. So the clicking was the solenoid engaging, so it's pushing the solenoid forward, but obviously it didn't have any power to turn the starter motor over. I don't understand how it's done that, and I don't really want to do it to do it again. I presume, this was up here and there was plenty of slack on it, so it could move about anyway, so I don't understand how it's done that, unless it's just the crimp that I used is a rubbish one. It shouldn't have been. I mean, I definitely crimped that. That's not a soldered crimp, that's a normal crimp. And it's not like it's been over tightened, because it wouldn't affect it there. Unless it's been bent, unless I bent it to get it on. But even it's got loads of slack, it shouldn't be pulling at it. That's very odd. But it's a good thing, it means the starter motor's all right. Right, I'm going to cut the end off and re-crimp it, and I don't know, maybe cable tie this around the starter so it all moves together. There shouldn't be much movement in the engine when it's going. That's most weird. Well, I've not seen that done before. Right, let's pull this off and have a better look. I might just cut it off and give it a bit of an inspection. Yeah, it's quite a clean break one side, and a bit rough the other. So I mean, the crimp bit's all right. I'm new to crimping, so you never know if it's going to hold, but that seemed to hold all right. I had heat shrink around there. Obviously, I've exposed too much, but that's not the issue. The issue is that snapping. So the only way it could snap, I reckon, is fatigue from being bent. I'm gonna put it back on. I'll re-crimp it, get another crimp, put it back on, and see. Just double check there's nothing hitting it or in the way or pushing against it or that could cause it to do that. That's very strange. Yeah, it's got to be that. It can't be anything else. There's no soldering there. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's got to be fatigue where it's been. I presume that's probably a weak point where it goes from the round to the flat. And maybe I did bend it, but you know, you think you could bend it. Right, let's get another one, put it in. I don't want this. I think things like this happening, I don't want that happening again. So I've got to work out why it's done it. If anyone's got any ideas, if you could let me know. But I just think it must be. And the engine's not moving enough to. And there was plenty of flex on the cable, so unless the cable got caught on the sump guard, but even then, the engine's not moving about that much. Let's fix it anyway. Well, I've crimped it and I've heat shrinked it, and it sort of sits at this sort of position when it's on the starter mode, so that's about where it'll be. So there's plenty of movement backwards and forwards and here and there. I don't get it. Unless when it goes on the sump guard gets in the way. I'll put it on, I'll double check there's nothing around it, and we'll put the sump guard on. Right, it's got a nice bend on it. It's coming out where it should be. I'm going to put a bit of hose around it where it goes near the engine mount, even though it's all moving together, just to toughen it up so nothing wears through. I'm going to put the terminal end over it, the rubber bit. I've just done that so I could check from the front that it's not too tight a bend. So fingers crossed. I don't know whether to put a cable tie round the starter to hold it into one place. Yeah, probably worth doing that. I'll do that as well. Right, so that's a cable tie going round, holding the cable. There's plenty of flex. I've pushed it back into the car, but that'll come and go. And I've put a bit of plastic tubing around the main power feed, just where it goes. I mean, it should all move in the same. Well, it shouldn't really move that much, but whatever it does move, it should all move the same. The starter motor is connected to the engine, which is what's connected to the engine mount. So, but I'll put a bit of rubber there just in case it doesn't chafe. Right, I'm gonna check it turns over before I put the sump guard on, and fingers crossed. Oh, hang on, let me get out. The problems I had with it not starting didn't happen. It started fine. The only problem I get is a bit of kickback on it at certain times when you try starting it, because it's got too much advance in the cold start, apparently, or warm start, I don't know, when the revs are low, which could easily be ironed out with the ECU if someone could get into it, but apparently the ECU is locked. And unfortunately, the guy who mapped it has passed now, and he's put a code on it, so I don't know, it's a GEMS ECU. It could probably be done, but I can put up with a bit of kicking back. It's just as you're turning over, it kicks back slightly, but then it'll turn over. It might do it again, then it'll start. But that's very rare. That's 1 out of 10 times probably. Normally it just starts straight away. So I think the problem was the HTD's breaking down and interfering with the crank sensor. that must have been the problem, because we turned it off loads of times when there was hold-ups and it would start straight away. So, which is such a relief, because that was a nightmare. Not being able to turn it off was a problem. And there was a lot of hold-ups at the rally we've just done. So, yeah, that's hopefully that problem fixed. Let me see if it'll start. Well, see if it'll turn over. I don't really want to start it. Well, I've turned the fuel pumps off. Well, I could start. No, I say I could start it. I've got an idea with the stopping the oil getting out. I don't know whether to do it now. Let's just see if it turns over first. Beautiful. Right. Well, my idea is, in the boot there's a dry sump tank, and it's got a breather on it. Now I thought if I put a glove, it's just a screw on top which has got gauze in it for it to breathe. If I put a glove on the top of it and then screw it down, it should stop any air getting in to let the oil go out. I don't know if that's how it works, because I think there's a breather at the front as well. But this is just worth trying, just to see. When I went to start it before the rally, I hadn't used it since October, so 4 weeks, 5 weeks. The oil level in the tank was so low because it was all in the engine, even though the front was jacked up. So if I put something to create a vacuum, like a glove on the top, I'm going to, I'll see how much oil's in the tank now. If it's quite a bit of oil, I'll put the glove on, see if that does it, and then I can check it in a couple of weeks and make sure it's the level hasn't gone down. And see if that works, I can just continue doing that. Right, I'm going to fire it up now. Hopefully, fuel pump's on. Oil pressure. That means all the oil's in the tank, in the engine. It's a pain. It's only been left, what day are we today? Turned it off after the rally on Monday. I drove it back here, and we're now Thursday. Yeah, it's not right. And I've had the front jacks off as well. I'll have to put a tap on the tank, I think. I can't leave it for 4 days and then not having the oil pressure when I start it. Right, well, that's not going to put any oil in the tank. If I wind it forward with the cam belt, fill the tank back up, and then put the glove on, then we'll see if it works. Right, just from firing it up then, it's put a lot of oil back in the tank. It's gone up to the top of that tape. I've always put a yellow mark there, that's the level now. So I've put a glove to seal the tank. It's going to drop a little bit because it will suck a bit of vacuum out of there. But if it doesn't drop substantially, I'll just have to leave it like that every time I leave it for a couple of days. I mean, the chances are I could keep revving it and the oil light would go off and would get back to oil pressure, because it would suck it back up again. But I don't like running it without an oil in it. So I've put a glove on the gear stick, so when I do fire it up, I know not to fire it up until I've taken the glove off the oil tank. Right, well, at least the starter motor's fixed. That's a good one. I was concerned because it was an expensive starter motor, and I thought don't mind putting the money into it to make it reliable. But the fact that it didn't work, I was a bit concerned. But the fact that it wasn't the starter motor that caused the problem, I'm really pleased with that, because it turns over so much quicker with that starter motor on. Oh, blimey. The garage door open. Right, I think we'll wrap it up there. Yeah, I don't know if I'll speak about I think we'll wrap it up there.